In this video, we're going to take a look at the Boolean operators called AND, OR, and NOT. Now, these operators enable you to create more complex conditions than what we've been looking at so far. So, for example, we've done conditions like grade greater than or equal to 60, and that's just a simple condition, and it's true if the grade is greater than or equal to 60 and false otherwise. But sometimes we need to test multiple values and form a more compound or complex condition in order to get the results that we require. So let's say we go and define a variable, we'll call it gender, and we'll set it to the string female, and let's create another variable, we'll call it age, and we'll set it to 70. And let's say we want to print the string senior female only if the gender is female and the age is greater than or equal to 65. So we can go and write such an expression. So if gender double equal sign female, and of course you have to spell it correctly. By the way, if we were to use different case sensitivity in the two strings, they would not compare as equal, so please keep that in mind. And then we want to combine this with another condition, age greater than or equal to 65. So if both of those conditions are true, then we would like a print statement to execute that displays senior female. Right? And in this case, both conditions are true, so indeed senior female gets displayed. Now, the way this expression works is the condition to the left of the AND gets evaluated. If this is false, then the if statement terminates immediately and we would move on to the next statement after the if statement. If it's true, I still don't yet know if the whole condition is true because I need both of these conditions to be true for the entire condition to be true. So if this is true and age is also greater than or equal to 65, which it is, then and only then will this print statement actually execute as it did in this particular case. So what's happening in the evaluation of this expression is a case of short circuit evaluation in Python. If the left side of this expression were false, the rest of the expression would not evaluate. So that's a little bit of a performance feature of the AND operator. And that's true of the AND operator in most C-based languages. Now we also have the OR operator. So for this one, let's go and create another variable. We'll call it semester average, and we'll give it the value 83, and we'll create another one called final exam, and we'll give that 95. By the way, notice the naming convention on these two variables. This is from the style guide for Python code. When you have multi-word variable names, they recommend for Python that you separate the words with underscores unless you are coding for some library that already has, or some code base I should say, that already has a different naming convention, in which case you should use the naming convention of that code base. But generally, when you have multi-word names, you're going to separate them with underscores for variable names and function names in the Python programming language. So let's say we want to use these two variables in a condition that says if the semester average is greater than or equal to 90 and or the final exam grade is greater than or equal to 90, in either of those two cases we're going to give the student an A. So let's try that. So whoops, I didn't mean to hit tab there. So if semester average is greater than or equal to 90, or final exam is greater than or equal to 90, in either of those two cases or both of those cases, we would like to print quote student, I cannot type, student grade, or student gets an A. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's go ahead and execute that. Now in this case, semester average is not greater than or equal to 90. So this is false, but it's either or. Either of the two can be true in order for the entire thing to be true. So if semester average is false, if semester average greater than 90 is false, or gets evaluated, and I then look at the condition to the right of that to see if the final exam is greater than or equal to 90. In this case, it is, so student gets an A is displayed. If both of these are false, then the entire expression is false. Now again, we get short circuit evaluation. So if we already know that the left side is true, then the right side would not get evaluated in that particular case. So with the OR operator, if the left is true or the right is true or both are true, the entire expression is true and the body will execute. Otherwise, if both are false, the entire expression is false. Now there's one other logical operator, or Boolean operator as they're called in Python, which is the not operator. So let's go and create a grade variable. We'll give it the value 87 for the moment here. And let's do kind of a Sentinel controlled loop type of test. I'll do it with an if statement here just because we don't need a loop for the moment. But let's say we had the condition not grade double equals -1. So you may remember when we were doing our Sentinel controlled iteration, we used a flag value to indicate when to terminate a given loop. So in this case we have the not operator. So what's going to happen is the not operator will reverse the condition to its right. So if grade is equal to -1, this highlighted piece would be true, and not true would evaluate to false. If the highlighted piece is false, not false will evaluate to true. So it just reverses the value of the condition. So in this case I would print the next grade is, and then we'll simply output the grade. We could use a format string or an F string if we want to here as well. Now at the moment, grade of course is not equal to -1. So grade double equals -1 will be false, not false will be true, and therefore this print statement will execute, and you see the next grade is 87 does indeed get displayed in that case. So this is just a way to reverse the value of a condition. You can also apply the not operator to other values. So remember, every object has a true or a false value associated with it. Any numeric value that is 0 is considered to be false. Any numeric value that's non-zero is considered to be true. So the not operator would simply reverse those conditions. And as I told you, you'll see more complex objects be used as true false values in a number of scenarios in Python, and we'll encounter a lot of those as we move forward.